I was about to say Instagram, what's up? And then I remembered that this is an Instagram. That shows you how long it is since I recorded one of these. Yes, I know, it's been a while since I recorded a YouTube video. I kept saying, I'll do it this week, I'll do it this week, and I kept putting it off, kind of like people do with their fitness goals. I'm back. That's what matters. Today, I am going to be taking you through a day in the life and having a few chats along the way on what's going on at the moment and kind of talk you through what I'm doing with my training, what my fitness goals are for the rest of this year. And yeah, that's it. I'll try and show you some of my training. I'm about to head to the gym now and hit a full body session. I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm probably going to cut it a little bit short, so I'll do a little bit lower volume and just get it done. I do have a double training day planned today, but we'll see how I feel later on because I'm not going to force it if I don't feel 100%. And I also have a pretty heavy training block starting next week, so I would like to save some of my energy for that. Yeah, so let's go. So there's guys that go around cleaning your car. It's pretty cheap as well. That's why the wiper is left up. There's bare shit on my front window. So between when they've cleaned it, I've gotten into it. Somehow a bird has come into the car park and shit all over the windscreen. What a shame. We'll survive. Right, I've you set up on my dashboard. I've gotten one of those suction cups. It's meant to be for the Osmo specifically. Right, if anyone else knows what suction cups can be like for fucking holding phones in the car, they can be very hit and miss, and that they fucking fall a lot of the time. So this better not go falling on me now. I'll be very annoyed because it costs me money. Sam Sulek can do it, I can do it. A lot of people won't get that reference. I have been slacking on recording YouTubes. I kind of just kept on putting it off. And I think the reason YouTube is more difficult to do, well, obviously it's just more effort because the videos are longer, and to hold someone's attention for, between 10 and 30 minutes, you probably have to do something interesting in your video, which I'm not doing right now. I feel really out of practice with vlogging to the camera, but I think the reason that I slack on YouTube a little bit is because the payoff is much more obvious with posting short form, posting on Instagram. It's much more tangible, if that makes sense. So it feels like, if I post a really valuable Instagram post, or if I post a client results, that I often directly get clients off the back of that. Whereas me sitting down and taking you through day in life is the equivalent of doing like a week's worth of Instagram posts in difficulty, and it's far less likely in the short term to sign me a client. Although in the long term, building a YouTube presence can obviously bring on new clients. Although it's debatable whether vlogging days in the life, well, it's probably that I need to sit down and talk about some topic for 10 minutes and just do it in more detail, which I have done before, but I don't particularly enjoy doing that. It's not an enjoyable use of my time. See, one of the things about me is, when it comes to content, I would say that I enjoy this style of content. So I enjoy like day in the life, kind of just lifestyle style content. But the weird thing is, when it comes to informational content, I don't particularly enjoy making it. I find it kind of boring because I feel like I've been saying the same information on repeat for 3-4 years at this point, but still people don't know the information. And the weird thing about that is, when it comes to what an average week looks like for me, I enjoy coaching. Like, I've said this before, but I don't know if I still feel this way, but I would say, like, historically I felt this way, that if I could just coach and get lots of new clients without having to post on Instagram, I would, or without having to post on socials. But what I actually think is, if I could do that without having to constantly post informational content, that would be amazing. And if I could, like, post lifestyle stuff whenever I felt like it. But unfortunately, that isn't how things work, is it? That isn't how things work. That's a nice little idea, but that isn't how life works. We need to get the value out there because people need to see value, which I get. You know, realistically, would I want to sign up with a coach who just posts his days in the life? Probably not. And some people do, and to be honest with you probably shouldn't. Like, I often see Instagram fitness influencers, and I look at their page, and I know they have loads of clients. I know loads of people sign up with them, and they have lots of content, no value, and no results. I think it's an important topic at the moment because there are so many fucking sharks in the water in the online coaching industry at the moment. Like, there are so many people that are robbing a living doing this job and don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's quite scary. I think that the recent controversy in Ireland has brought it to light, but that's just one example of many. So if you don't know about the controversy in Ireland, basically there was 2 coaches from Waterford who organised a shoot in Marbella with their clients, a group of them, and long story short, basically ripped off all their clients, and the clients weren't promised like a fraction of, or weren't given a fraction of what they were promised. The photographer wasn't paid, and supposedly there was some very, very questionable emotional abuse to some of their clients as well, and potentially some sexual harassment, which isn't ideal either. But I put up a story about this after, like, not long after it happened. One of the things I was saying was, I think a lot of people, when they hear that, they think, oh, that could never happen to me. I'd never fall for someone like that. And look, personally, I looked at the coaches. Definitely one of them was, never the sort of person that I would personally be coached by. But it's not like you looked at their Instagram pages. Jesus. It's not like you would look at their Instagram pages and be like, these lads are scammers straight away. It wasn't that fucking obvious. Like, the only thing that I could think of was that they had social proof, they had results, but they didn't have a huge amount of, I would say, clients like commenting, or like a lot of collaborated social proof, or a lot of video testimonials, although video testimonials, some coaches don't like them or use them as much. But I always think, I think that over the next few years, authenticity is going to become very, 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 very important. So obviously authenticity has always been important, but I think with the prevalence of AI, I don't think that the prevalence of AI is going to lead to negative consequences for good coaches. If anything, I think it's going to bolster them and actually largen the gap between them and shit coaches. Now, I am not going to sit here and say that I don't use AI at all. I do. It's more so for marketing and stuff though than delivery. I don't really use it for delivery. There's a couple of things I do with it in the background to help me like get tasks done quicker. But I think a lot of people are using it too much. I think eventually it's going to come back to bite them because coaching is an art. And if you're using AI for delivery, I think eventually you will start to lose that edge. And it'll show. Because one of the things that's very interesting with AI is that it's already shown that it negatively impacts your cognitive function and like your reasoning, your ability to problem solve. I don't know the exact stats or the exact study. I'll try and find them and put them up on screen, but this is just generally, this isn't coaches specifically, but there's pretty strong evidence to say that if you use AI all the time for everything, you become dumber. And a dumber you is not going to be as good of a coach. You know, AI should be used for things that are bottlenecks, that are going to, that are bottlenecks, and that are slowing you down. But they shouldn't be used to replace things that are already working or replace you. All that to be said, AI, a tool that can be extremely useful, but not one to be overused to the point where you lose your own skill to do things. Now, we are about 5 or 10 minutes out from the gym. So you have full body. It's got sled pull. It's got bench press, sled pull, shoulder press, pendlay row, squats, RDLs, and sled push. Not in that order because that would be a weird order. But those are the exercises in it. I am probably gonna cut the sled push and the sled pull because I couldn't be arsed setting up the sleds, honestly, and as I said, I'm going to do a little bit lower volume today. I am probably just going to do 2 sets on the other exercises to failure. I'll probably do top set back off, which isn't what's in my plan. But that's okay, I usually stick to my plan, but today I just want to get this done and get out. Which is definitely something that I actually should speak about more, because I think something I get from clients all the time is like, panicking when they don't have a perfect workout or they don't feel 100%. And I'm like, I literally have workouts all the time where I have shit sessions. I move less weight than last week. I shorten them because I'm in a rush or because I feel like crap. Like literally every fucking week I have a session like that, and people think that that is like the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. Like, you do so many workouts across a month, across a year, across years. If 5, even 10, 20% of them are bad, you're still going to make amazing progress, right? But this is still better than me staying in bed. It's still better than me staying in bed because I'm still going to, at the very least, keep my strength taking over. And more than anything, it's fucking psychological. Like, getting into the gym when you don't want to train is a psychological win. It builds discipline. It moves the needle. Anyways, so I was having a chat with the lads I read on yesterday, my coaching team, and they're programming out my next training block. Now, I have been saying for the past few weeks that my goals are to run a 5k in under 18 minutes, and then obviously we have a couple of ultra marathons towards the end of the year. Problem is, even though they're both running, those goals do kind of contradict each other a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that I don't care about the 5k at all. I do, and I would really like to run a 5k in under 18 minutes. And I will run a 5k in under 18 minutes. But if you ask me what's the priority, I would absolutely say the ultramarathons, without a shadow of a doubt. So the next training block is a lot more distance focused than it is speed focused, which I'm happy about. I prefer just plodding along, and I prefer just high volume, like, well, when it comes to that side of training, just putting myself through it. And ultimately, it's not even about the style of training. I am just way more excited about running ultras than I am about running a 5k in under 18 minutes. What I think I realised was that the sub 18 5k I felt like was a logical step after running a 10k in under 40 minutes, like, and a strong step up. And I felt like maybe to an extent I was doing it because, you know, I wanted to prove that I'm a fast runner, like I'm really good at running. But I don't think it's a goal. I feel like I want it, but I can live without it. If you ask me about ultramarathons, on the other hand, I can't live without them now. So, you know when you're like fucking 12 or 13 and you're obsessed with a girl, or vice versa if you're a woman watching this, like a fucking teenager in love for the first time. That's the way I feel about ultra running. I can't stop thinking about it. It keeps me up at night. That's how I feel about it. I've been watching YouTube documentaries on repeat. I just fucking love ultra running. I just think it's so cool. I love humans pushing themselves to insane limits. So, all that to be said, that is why the next training block is around ultra running specifically. So there's a lot of fucking running, and obviously some lifting because we need to keep a strong body. But yeah, that's the crack. I am about to arrive at the gym, so I am going to turn the camera off now, and then I will catch you in the gym. I was fully expecting to do 100 or 110 on that working set, and I did 80 for 2 warm-up reps, and I was like, not a fucking chance. That actually felt so bad, like such a bad, like that 90 kilos felt like 120 kilos. You just have workouts like that. Like I knew coming in this probably wasn't going to be the best session, so I'll definitely scale it a good bit. I'm not even sure if I'll do RDLs or not. I might switch them for hamstring curls. But yeah, I'll record my next set on squats as well, but literally the second I unracked the bar, I was like, nope. Very hard. Fucking hell. That feels so heavy today. Yeah. I'll probably do for upper, I'll probably do pendlay rows and military press. And I'll probably just do hamstring curls for lower and call it there. I think we're gonna call this session more of a psychological win than one that moves the needle. That's okay. Have sessions like that. I'll probably catch a few more clips, but I'll chat to you again properly once we're in the car, I think. Alrighty, so that is a bit of a feeble full body session ticked off, but a full body session nonetheless. As I was saying during the gym session, some sessions aren't that good. I literally was loading up my squats and I was like, holy shit, my warm-up sets felt like working sets. Yeah, I'm a bit under the weather anyways, and I didn't have a great sleep, so we won't read into it too much. Reversing out here now is a tough job. There we go. So I am heading home now. Today my game plan is I want to actually get this video that I'm recording right now edited and uploaded, so I won't record the full day, I'll record most of the day because I don't want it to creep into tomorrow because I have other stuff to do. I am trying to get my head around trial reels because everyone is telling me that I need to be doing trial reels, that they're like paid ads when you know how to do them properly, And a friend of mine, Charlie, has given me a very detailed protocol for how to utilize trial reels and how they're working for him to get loads of new followers on Instagram. So when we get my head around that, probably going to write an email. I haven't done emails in a while. So two things I've been slacking on recently is my YouTube videos and my emails. For ages I did 1 YouTube video a week and 3 emails a week, and both of those things have fallen by the wayside over the past couple of months, and I want to get back to them because and again, the painful thing about both of those is that they kind of feel like the thing that is the slowest to get me in clients and make me money. This fucking idiot flashing me, like, get over yourself. You can wait 2 seconds for me to speed up after pulling out. The slower things to get me clients and make me money than Instagram, but they happen to be the things that I enjoy more, which is a bit annoying. So I kind of put them by the wayside. But I actually quite enjoy making YouTube videos, and I quite enjoy writing emails as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna be getting back to doing those things because I think it's gonna be beneficial, both those things, in the long run. So that, and then I feel like I have a good few bits of client work to do. I have a consultation call, perhaps. I have a funny feeling that she might cancel because she's been a bit quiet, but I have a consultation call, whether that goes ahead or not. And I have some bullshitty admin to do because I need to yeah, I'm not going to explain that because it's boring. But yeah, I have a few bits to do, but not a crazy day. And I am not going to do a double day of training because I just feel like shit and it's not going to be worth it. I'm going to like tip along this week, like just keep my fitness tipping along. But I'm probably only going to have 1, maybe 2 hard sessions max, because the next training block it's a big one. We're starting the build towards these ultras, which I touched on the way to the gym. But I have 3 ultras at the end of this year. So I have the Peaks Last Man Standing, which is around the end of October, and that is a 24-hour time cap race. So it's a little bit different to a backyard ultra, a similar format in that it's a loop that you run the same loop. It's a slightly different distance though, so the loop is longer. It's like 8.8 kilometers. And with a backyard ultra, you have to run a loop on the hour every hour. With this, you just have 24 hours and you get as much running done as you can. Whoever has the most loops at the end of 24 hours wins. So that's the first one. And then in November, I have a 100k Ultra Trail Dubai. So that's a 100k race, trail race. My first ever trail race. Why not start with 100 kilometers? That's how we like to do it around here. And then I'll obviously be well prepped for it. I'll obviously do plenty of trail running. I probably will do a couple of trail races beforehand as well. And then in December, date hasn't been announced yet, but it's going to be painfully close to Christmas. So I'll probably end up going home like the 23rd or 24th. Is the RAK Backyard Ultra, so Ras Al Khaimah. And we're gonna burn the boats of that one. That one is like, we're all in. Well, I'm all in on all of them, but that one is like, I'm gonna do what it takes. That's the North Star. It's good that it's in December, you know, end the year on a high. So that's the game plan, and those 3 things, like, I need a fucking lot of training to be ready for those races. So that's kind of why the 5k is falling by the wayside. Like, my 5k is gonna get better, but I'm not like obsessing over the sub 18. If it happens, it happens, but it's not the priority. I can't prioritize those 2 things at once. I think I have to realize that. So head down. Ultras are what's important. Ultras are what I care about, and they're where, like, if you ask me what do I see myself training wise, like, focusing on over the next 5 years, it's going to be running fucking mental ultra marathons. That's just what excites me. I just love it. It's hard to explain once you've done one. Once you've ran 100 miles in one day, and the way you feel after that, it kind like everything else kind of pales in comparison. It's like I could do a high rocks, but I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to get this time in a high rocks. It's like, yeah, it's cool being really good, but like, I can live without. But these ultras, man, they're keeping me up at night. Like, I just cannot stop thinking about it. I haven't felt this way about like a training or a training goal in a long time. Like, I am just like, even when I was like big into high rocks for a while, I never felt like this about it. Like, I wasn't like inhaling high rocks content or watching YouTube videos or thinking about it all the time. Like, I wanted to get a good time, but I think it was more of an ego thing than anything, if that makes sense. Like, I think not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, you know, people, like, it's okay to want to do well for your ego. Like, that's not something that's always bad. But when I look at the ultras, it's like, I'm just fucking obsessed with this. Like, I cannot stop thinking about fucking ultra marathons. It's on my head. Like, it's in my head all day long. All day long. Anyways, I'm stopped up at the shop because I'm going to get some oats. I think I'm going to get a carrot tea as well. You probably don't know what a carrot tea is if you're anywhere but Dubai or have never been to Dubai, but it's like a Middle Eastern tea. It's so fucking nice. It's so fucking nice. It's very hard to describe to someone who hasn't had it. But yeah, I'll catch you in a minute. Hold on a second, let me put that down here. We've managed to leave the convenience store without Alright, so incredibly, we've managed to leave the convenience store without Karak tea or oats. Not very convenience store if you ask me. They don't sell oats, interestingly. I thought that was something that most little shops had, but they only seem to have fucking sweets. So yeah, and then they didn't have Karak tea, which is weird, even though they had one of the things. So I ended up getting a cardamom tea instead, which I think I've had before, but now I'm worried I haven't tasted it yet since I got it. I had a really funny interaction with the lady that worked in there, so that was nice though. I was pressing the button, the button didn't seem to be working. She was like, "Let me try, sir." Interesting. I think she was Filipino. She's like, "Let me try, sir." Oh god. Oh, that's probably politically incorrect, but anyways, fucking sue me. And then it worked when she did it. She held it for a little bit longer. And then I was like, oh, I was like, you have the magic touch. And she was like, yes, ladies touch, special touch. And then we laughed. And then when I was paying, I was like, or cardamom tea, whatever. And she was like, "You had it before?" And I was like, "Yeah." Thinking that I've had it before. I'm almost sure I've had it before and I liked it. Because I'm pretty sure I was in this exact place, now that I think of it, and they didn't have carrot tea. So I got cardamom and I was like, oh, it's actually quite nice. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. And I was like, do you not like it? And she was like, no. And I was like, all right, okay. And then I paid and I was like, look, you can keep change. It was a funny little interaction, but it was a nice interaction. Right, I better try this fucking cardamom tea. Now I'm worried. I could have sworn I had it before. I'm almost sure I've had it before and it was nice. Okay. Right, let's see. Yeah, it is nice. Okay, that's okay. Thank God. It to me, it tastes really similar to Karak tea. I hope that's not offensive to Middle Eastern people, but it's very nice. Yeah, the teas out here are like, they got tea game out here. You know, to us, like, Irish people and also British people, like, tea's just fucking tea. Like, yeah, I know we've green tea and peppermint tea and shit like that, but, like, you know, if we're calling a spade, cup of tea means you sit down with your fucking Barry's or Lions or whatever and you put your milk in it and that's your tea. But that isn't how they do tea in other countries. of all this flavor tea. But the flavor tea here, like, when a lot of people, we think flavor tea, we think of like fruit tea and shit like that. Like, their tea here, their flavor teas, like their cardamom, their masala tea is kind of like, it's kind of like almost similar to coffees, like cappuccinos and lattes and flat whites, if that makes sense. Like, the consistency of them is more like that. Like, they're more foamy per se, as opposed to just being hot water. But nah, like a good Connacht, apparently you're meant to say like Connacht, a good Connacht tea. It's fucking really nice. It's really, really nice. The cardamom tea to me tastes very similar. Then the masala tea is really interesting because it's like spicy. It's still nice as well, which is the weird thing. Like, it is nice. It sounds terrible. Like, you hear masala, does it taste tikka masala? The truth is, it does a little bit. It does. It tastes like garam masala, like the seasoning. But it's still nice. So yeah, if you're looking to try some new teas, you should probably come to the Middle East. Yeah, something else I love about it out here is I feel like the people who work in places are so friendly, so kind. Like, the service is generally very good, and people are generally just like very like happy and friendly, which is really nice. I wouldn't say Ireland is not like that. I would say as European countries go, Ireland is probably better than others for that. But definitely out here, the customer service is very good, generally speaking. Yeah. Anyways, I wonder what I'm gonna kind of do with this YouTube video. Do you know what? I'm probably not gonna cut it much. I'm probably gonna just like cut out a couple of bits where I repeated myself. But do you know what I would love to know for people watching this, the fucking handful of you that are watching this? What I would love to know is if you had your choice between me like properly clipping a video down so it's like 10-15 minutes and like just the best bits, versus seeing me actually just talk shit for like as long as I feel like it. What would you prefer? Because part of me, I feel like if it was just me shooting the shit, kind of like Sam Sulek. If you don't know who Sam Sulek is, he's a gym influencer, but he kind of he did revolutionize the YouTube fitness scene, because before him everything was quite edited, whereas not overly edited, but like people didn't just sit down and talk. But Sam got really popular and completely blew up, and he would literally just set up his camera in his car like this and just like talk every single day. And I feel like if I do content like that, I'd be more consistent with it. I'll be more consistent with YouTube if I do it like that, versus if I have to like clip it and only keep in the best bits. So yeah, but the thing is, you obviously need to want to watch it and want to think it's worth watching. So my question is, to the handful of you watching this, I would actually really appreciate if you commented below or messaged me about this. Would you prefer me to clip it down so that it's like a little bit shorter, or do you like me just shooting the shit like this, just like taking you through the whole day, like talking away in the car and stuff? Because it's a lot lower effort for me. I think you probably get to see a bit more of me and like my thoughts and kind of what's going on as well. Yeah. Right, have another sip of tea. That's fucking so nice. How does your one not like this? I know what she's on about. This is fucking lovely. Jesus. I don't know how anyone's taste buds couldn't enjoy that. But that's another thing actually that I'm just thinking about now. Like, I will happily, like, if you are sound to me, I'll tip you. Like, if you're really, really sound to me, I will tip you. That's, like, taxi drivers. I swear to God, the taxi drivers over here are almost always so sound. And I always end up giving them, like, the full tip. Because, you know, if someone is genuinely good service, kind, good to talk to, why wouldn't you tip? But then if, you know, like, then you have at home in Ireland, they fucking turn around take this screen to you, and it's like you pick your percentage of their tip, and I'm like, this fucker hasn't even smiled at me and wants me to give him a tip. Anyways, it's fucking bullshit if you ask me, that thing. Like, I feel like, actually, generally speaking, I think that this almost applies to everything. You can't force people to do things. Like, I feel like people are more likely to tip without you telling them to than by forcing them to. Does that make sense? Like, I'm way more likely to tip when it's not a necessity and someone just gives me good service, as opposed to this fucker in a cafe who hasn't even smiled at me, turn around their fucking yoke to me with their 5, 10, 20% tip. No, you haven't earned it. Seriously though, I do actually think that. There's an example of this I remember reading about before. There was, can't remember what country it was in, but there was, I think it was the fire service, and the fire service only had an allotted amount of, say it was like 7 or 10 sick days a year, and most of the time they didn't use up the full amount. They used up like 4 or 5 of them. And then some guy came in, I don't know, some fucking whatever, some, like, whoever works the job where they try to cut costs, whatever that is, and was like, oh, they don't need this many, maybe, oh no, that's not what it was, that's now I know. So they had unlimited 6 days or something like that. They had like an insane amount, or they had unlimited sick days, the fire service. So then this guy came in and was like, oh, that's ridiculous, like, you can't have unlimited sick days, like, then people will just be pulling them all the time for no reason. And like, let's say the average amount of sick days a person had per year was like 7, for example, or 10. And then he came in and put a limit on it and said, oh, you can only have a maximum of like 10 sick days a year. Or you can only have, sorry, I had that wrong. So the average that people were actually having was like, all these numbers are probably wrong, but just for the sake of the story, the average people were having was like 4 a year. It sounds a bit low, but let's just play out the average. This fella came in and said the maximum that you can have is 10. And people ended up having more sick days because he put a limit on them. So when he put the limit on them, people ended up having like the full amount of sick days that they were allotted, when before the average was actually lower. The point being, like, if you don't put trust in people and you aren't kind to them, like, they're way more likely to take advantage of you. Yeah, that's me waffling anyways, but I'm almost home now, and the battery's getting a little bit low, getting a bit low in my Osmo, so I am gonna cut this here, and then I will catch you back in the apartment. Do you know what? I've just realised that today is actually not the most interesting day, and I've actually talked a lot in this video, so we'll see what people think about the style, but I actually am going to end the video here, because realistically for this one I am just going to be shooting the shit and not clipping it a lot, and it's going to be long as is. So I'm actually going to cut the video here and end it and see what people think, and then make a decision on how I'm going to do these videos going forward. But obviously this is very, very low very low maintenance and enjoyable to film. So let me know in the comments, do you want to see me take you through like longer stuff, like full days, like more edited, more effort, and like clip them into like 15-20 minutes? Or do you enjoy seeing me just kind of shooting the shit and telling you what I'm thinking? I would really, really appreciate any feedback in the comments below. But thank you all, the handful of you who are watching, and I will catch you in the next one.